G'day guys and welcome back to the game room. It's time for some top 3 Super Nintendo games of all time from Dave and Mike. Mike's back with me again. How's it going, mate?
Hey Dave, I'm good. Yourself?
Pretty good, mate. So top 3 Super Nintendo games from both of us.
Yeah.
It's over to you first.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start it with Shadowrun. A bit of a cyberpunk universe, RPG sort of thing. I had the American version of this, which I used to put through the converter. Can you remember the converters? You have to put a PAL cartridge in the back.
I remember that, yeah.
Man, this game, everything about it. It's probably still one of the most atmospheric games I've ever played.
The first thing that strikes me, Mike, when you're playing Shadowrun is the audio, especially on this intro. The audio is awesome on Super NES.
I mean, that was so Blade Runner then. If anyone's seen Blade Runner, the intro to Blade Runner. Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good little title. It's still got a cult following to this day. They've never really built on Shadowrun. I know there's a Kickstarter project. I think it's Kickstarter. There's a PC version of this now.
Okay.
Of like a follow-up to it.
Yeah. And
there was the shitty first-person shooter. So here we go. We start in the morgue. You play as a guy called Jake Armitage, who they presume is dead. But as you'll see, I'm not dead.
No.
I can't really remember too much about the story. I do remember it being really, really good.
So here he goes.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, this game. I mean, I haven't played this since I was, oh, God knows, 13, 14?
Yeah.
It was hard to get hold of. And if you see the PAL version of this now, I think it's worth a lot of money.
It is, yeah. It's quite an uncommon release, this one, Mike. It didn't sell in large numbers, and even the US version of the game is quite expensive. It's yeah, it's not a common one, this one. It's a good game. That's a really, really good game. It's worth checking out.
Guys, if you're into your retro gaming, especially Super Nintendo titles, you've got to check out this game. I mean, I could play this. I could play all the way through this now, easily. It's a very difficult game. I would say the most challenging part of the game is the combat. That's what I don't like about it, if I'm being honest, because it operates like the cursor operates like you should be controlling it with a mouse.
Oh right, yeah, and it's difficult and clumsy to control with a directional pad.
It is, yeah, and I mean there was mouse support, but
there was with if you bought like the SNES mouse with Mario Paint, I think it was, Mike, which you used it for.
That's right.
Yeah. So what's happening here? Explain this.
Okay, we'll run into this bar. So I'll show you one of these guys. This is a Shadowrunner. Okay, so this one's an orc, and you've got all different Shadowrunners. You hire them.
Okay.
And basically, when you hire them, they'll come around with you in the game and help you pick off the enemies. So you've got like the orcs, you've got mages. They've all got different strengths or weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's pretty impossible to do the game or to progress in the game without hiring them. Huge RPG element to the game.
Yeah.
Chatting to people, find out information, and you'll see later on if it bold like there, the word Shadowrunners is in bold. That'll hint at you that it's something to ask someone else about. So that's how the dialogue sort of works. I like the art style of it.
I think it looks fantastic, and going on to the walking around talking to people things and the little pictures, it's very Monkey Island-esque.
It is.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it is. And again, going back to the atmosphere, Monkey Island was full of atmosphere. So it is. I mean, look, it looks cool, doesn't it?
It does. I love the isometric view. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I'd play this. I really would. You've given me the inspiration to actually give this game a go. You really have.
Yeah, you'd enjoy it. You meet some really interesting characters. What I will say is the bosses in this game can be a bit of a pain in the arse because of the combat system.
Yeah.
Like I always say, go through it with Shadowrunners with you and you'll be fine. I won't really be able to show you much combat, guys, because I don't think I've got the gun yet, and I think it takes a good half hour, an hour into the game till you get guns and the combat starts. But I mean, I don't think he'll let me in here, if I remember. No.
Heavy bouncer. I see.
No, yeah, he and the ticket is something. I won't put any spoilers in, but it's something that I think I get from a place nearby or I've just walked past.
Okay.
Without being too vague, but these things are cool. You can
you
can actually use them to phone people you meet throughout the game. You see their faces on it, which is quite ahead of its time. Which
is absolutely fantastic. So you're then going to walk outside, Mike, and it's time to bring in the next game in your list of your top 3 here. So over to you, Maestro.
Well, there's just a lot of you watching this will already know about this title, Secret of Mana. Again, it's an RPG.
Yeah.
It's an action RPG. It's not turn-based, so it's very similar to Link to the Past Zelda.
Yeah, love Zelda. I love that game.
This is better. This is the best action RPG I've probably played on the Super Nintendo, maybe out of all the game consoles. It's an absolute cracking little game. Look how beautiful it looks.
It looks fantastic, doesn't it? It really does. You wouldn't look at that and think it was, really old, would you?
No, this music.
It reminds me of indie developed games of today, the way this looks.
Yeah,
you see a lot of games
yeah.
that look like this now, don't you?
Yeah, you could see this on the PS4 as a downloadable game now and pay like £8 for it, couldn't you?
You could, and the soundtrack, I've got to say, that you were just about to touch on, is very catchy and very nice sounding.
What was it about Super Nintendo soundtracks?
So what it was, Sony. Remember Sony, Ken Kutaragi?
Mm-hmm.
He made the sound chip that's inside the Super Nintendo, and it is a brilliant sound chip. And the quick story is, he bought his daughter a Famicom, original Famicom, wasn't happy with the sound, so he approached Nintendo to say, I could make you a sound chip for your next machine. And the rest speaks for itself.
I never knew that, because there's so many Super Nintendo games
Yeah.
that I used to play and go, wow, the music.
Yeah, and me. I mean, even Final Fantasy, which I'm not a big player of, one of the Final Fantasies on the Super Nintendo, the music sounded like you were listening to a soundtrack on a CD. It was that good.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was one thing that the Super Nintendo, just to touch on, had as an advantage over the Mega Drive, in my opinion. The music and the sounds were just amazing. They were top notch.
Yeah, definitely. Back to this game. So, as you can see, I've just pulled the sword.
Yeah.
And I think I put the village into a lot of shit now, because this attracts all the demons and stuff. The story is quite deep with Secret of Mana, and again, bosses in this are a nightmare. You can actually play this co-op as well.
Okay.
I think up to 2. Could you play more than 2 on the Super Nintendo, people?
You could if you got a multi-tap, but I'm not sure if this game supported a
Don't think
multi-tap.
this did.
No, it would have been cool if it did. Could you imagine 4 of your mates hacking and slashing your way through this?
It would be cool, but me and my brother used to play hours and hours of this game. It's fantastic. So yeah, we start with the Rusty Sword.
Yeah.
It's all about leveling up, like your typical RPGs and stuff, but it's got a cool story with it. Again, like Shadowrun, the characters you meet are really interesting. The art style is beautiful. The music we've touched on.
Yeah.
It's just our rabbits.
And these were the sort of games that you sunk most of your hours into on a Super Nintendo. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, I did. I've always been a bit of an RPG fan, but not your turn-based RPGs.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy being one
I'm not a
such
fan.
example.
I'm not a fan. I don't feel like I'm in control.
Yeah, I don't like the turn-based RPGs either. Because to me, it's just, you see the computer attack you, take points off you, and then, it doesn't work. For me, you've got to physically be fighting with the sword, like in this case.
Yeah, because you feel like you're accomplishing in something, and then it's nice when you find your new loot, your new weapons, your new armour, and you can actually use it. But I can't remember where I go now. It's not this way.
Heading towards the town, I think, aren't you?
That's what you're supposed to.
I like it when you do the fighting, because you can be strategic, with your moves, with trying to dodge as well as attacking, can't you?
You can, and there's different ways to play this game. You can cast a lot of spells. I think I'm going the wrong way again.
I think you're going back towards the beginning, aren't you?
Yeah, this way. Yeah, you could be a spellcaster. You can use weapons. But like I say, a lot of people will say Link to the Past is better. For me, this was a far superior game to Link to the Past. It just had a lot more going for it.
Yeah.
I think it's made by Square Enix.
Squaresoft, so yeah.
Squaresoft.
Yeah, they're the Final Fantasy makers, the developers, as we know. And this is really good. It really looks good.
Again, if you want to pick this up, guys, I had the American version of this,
With the
which I used the converter.
Yeah.
The PAL, I never saw the PAL version for this ever in the shops.
I hardly ever heard about the PAL version.
But it does exist, doesn't it?
It does.
We saw it, didn't we?
Extremely expensive.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is it more for PAL versions? Because they're more rare.
I think, they're not as common, are they, as the North American copies of the game, perhaps. Maybe we didn't have as big of an audience for RPGs, or not. I could be talking complete crap there.
No,
maybe we didn't.
I think you've got a point.
Japan RPGs were massive. North America, I think they were huge as well. Maybe not so much over here.
No, I think we've been a bit slow on the uptake. I think it's only the last sort of 5-6 years we've really gone huge on MMOs.
Yeah. So here we go, Mike. You've got to the town area.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking and dialogue here. And this is the boss, and this is the first boss you'll come up against. You can't actually die against this guy, if I remember correctly. Well, you can, but you'll just keep getting revived. This sort of ease you into how the bosses work. But
training mode, tutorial almost.
Yeah.
So what's happening here is you're manually attacking the boss, but Mike, the attacks he deals on you are pretty devastating.
They are. I mean, when he casts magic, if I remember correctly, there's no way to avoid it.
Yeah, so it just hits you.
It just hits you, yeah, and deals damage. Later on in the game, though, you would be able to counteract that with magic yourself. There's tons of different spells as well. But it's just, it's such an awesome game. It really, really is a cool game.
It's another one that you've brought to my attention that I think I would probably love to sit down and see how I get on with.
Yeah.
Normally, as you know, with me with RPGs,
Yeah,
you're
not an RPG fan, which is fair enough. I mean, a lot of people aren't. What I will say, guys, if you do remotely like the Zelda games or Dark Souls games of today, this is like early Dark Souls. This is hard bosses.
Yeah.
It's action orientated. Play this game, give it a go. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, and as I say, you looking at this, I really do want to play this. Again, music's great, graphics are decent for the time as well. I like the fighting mechanics, it looked good. And as you say, there's a nice story to it, which you could get into if you really like story-based video games.
I mean, we've edited out the dialogue, but there is tons of dialogue to go through. Cool characters to meet, loads of loot to find, and the levels get really interesting. They change a lot. The environments, the landscapes do.
Yeah, because that's what I used to love about Legend of Zelda was the weather changed, etc. Yeah, so here you can see he's attacking you again with a spell, isn't he?
He's battering me. I don't know what. I just think I've just got to keep hitting the guy, basically.
Yeah.
There's parts of his body when you hear cling, it means I'm.
He's
done.
There we go.
Because he's got armor in certain parts you can't hit him. But that Secret of Mana, try it out, guys. It's amazing. My last game, which I'm going to show you here, are the top 3.
Yeah, we're just about to see that after this ending sequence from the boss being defeated. I think he goes back up to the town, doesn't he? He gets sort of sucked back up. Is that what happens?
Yeah, he was harder than I remember as well.
And that's the first boss as well, almost like a training boss.
Some of the bosses get ridiculous, get absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, last but not least, we will get there, guys. I promise.
Yeah, Secret of Mana's taken us. Ding!
Here we go. I mean, you all know what this is. It needs no introduction.
Super Mario Kart.
It had to be in my top 3. Little backstory on this. My next neighbour, it was Christmas time, my next neighbour brought it round. I'd actually had Super Pro Protector for Christmas that year.
Oh yeah.
Which some might know as Contra Spirits.
Yeah.
And I played this and I was so jealous and I was like, Mum, why didn't you get me this instead? And I begged to borrow it off him and he wouldn't lend it to me. I can't blame him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he used to bring it around my house. We'd spend hours upon hours playing this game.
Yeah, this game is absolutely awesome, and I'm going to put this out there. In my opinion, Mike, this is the best Mario Kart game, full stop, the first one. It's better than 64, it's better than, Wii and all the others that came afterwards. This, for me, is still my favourite.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well. I mean, it still feels amazing to play this as well. It really does, and it flows nicely, doesn't it? It looks good.
A lot of fun, and of course, you've got that Mode 7 effect.
Mode 7 came into its own in this game.
Because it looks great, it moves nicely, and F-Zero took advantage of Mode 7 as well, didn't it?
It did, yeah, it did. This came out a lot later than F-Zero, or a bit later than F-Zero.
I think F-Zero was an early, wasn't it, Super Famicom title,
I think
a couple of years later.
F-Zero was like a launch title for the Super Nintendo.
I think you're spot on, it was for the Super Famicom, yeah.
But this game, I don't know anyone who has never played this game. I think even if you don't like racers, even my mum used to like this game. She'd come and play with me and my brother on it. It's awesome. Everyone liked it. It's such a good game.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U is a game that my wife will play. She doesn't generally play a lot of other games. She will play that.
Same with my wife. She's always loved Mario Kart. It's just universal.
Yeah, so my first time seeing Mario Kart is I went to a friend's house. One of our other mates brought his SNES round and Super Mario Kart, Mike, and I just couldn't get off it. The game, I was hooked. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, it was digital crack of its time. I used to love the other mode as well. You got the split between the battle modes
with the balloons.
Oh yeah, man, I used to love that so much. But yeah, I mean, some people might say it's Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, the next one in the series.
It's better with Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
A lot of people will prefer that, but for me, because you've got the superior control of the Super Nintendo.
By a mile.
I just prefer this game.
Yeah, I enjoy Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo more than I do on the 64. I find, because of the joystick on the 64 pad, I find it hard to control. I don't know what you think about that one.
Same as me, definitely.
On to the next race.
I used to love this one.
Yeah. This track I found quite hard. I really did,
Yeah.
because it's a big long corner. I always used to either spin out or go off on the grass in this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it was tricky.
Yeah, across the bridge. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, the tracks, they're good tracks, they're interesting ones. And some of the later Mario Kart games actually remade versions of this.
They did, yeah. There's
Yeah.
loads of variety in the original Mario Kart in regards to the tracks. We had Bowser's Castle.
Bowser's Castle was a level, yeah, that had lava, I think, in the middle and some jumps.
We didn't have the Ghost House though, did we?
Yes, we did. We had like a boardwalk level which had the
That's
ghosty,
it. I
the
thought
ghosty
that
soundtrack.
wasn't until Nintendo 64.
No, it was on the
you're right.
SNES. Yeah.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was good when you if you completed it in 100cc, didn't you get the unlocked 150cc?
I believe you did. Yeah, I believe you had to complete all the cups, didn't you?
Yeah.
At that level to unlock that particular level. I don't think they did anything like mirror mode though, did they, for this game? If you
No.
completed the entire thing like they did on the later ones.
I don't think so. I mean, look, I'm flying through this because it's in 50cc. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, with 100cc it's faster, it's harder to get around corners because you're going faster. But yeah, this corner here is the one I'm talking about. I always used to have trouble going around that corner.
Yeah.
Because there's a trick to it, a knack to jumping and drifting, isn't there, around
There
corners?
is, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot you can use the bumpers to jump, can't you?
You can, yeah, you can jump, drift.
Yeah. Who's your favourite character to play as? I always played as this guy.
Koopa Trooper, same guy. Always used him, mate, always tried to use him. That's if I got there first, because if I was playing with friends,
Everyone
they
goes
would
for-
always do it.
Apparently, for the pros at this game, the guy to really get experience with was Donkey Kong or
The heavier
because
characters.
their top speeds are so fast.
Yeah, that's right, but their acceleration is slower, so it takes longer to
and
get
they're harder
going.
to control, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They're better for combat, so if you end up hitting other carts as well. So yeah, this has got a strategic element to the combat as well. Timing when to use a red shell, timing when to use a mushroom boost.
Yeah, and then you go.
You've won that
Pole
second
position.
race. Absolutely loved it.
So yeah, Mario Kart, I don't need to say, guys, try it. But if you haven't tried it, the Super Nintendo version, you've tried the later version, please give that a go. It's really good.
Absolutely, guys. So we're now going to move on to my top 3.
This is going to be interesting.
It will be. We're going to start off with Super Mario All-Stars. Now, some of you guys are going to go, why have you picked Super Mario All-Stars, Dave? It's just the NES games remastered for 16-bit. Do you know why I'm going to say that? Because it was a brilliant idea to pack this in with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
What a great thing to have, Mike, when you first got your SNES.
Yeah.
Being able to play all these games.
Now, Super Mario World.
Yeah, this is the second version of Mario All-Stars that had Mario World with it. The original All-Stars didn't have Mario World included.
I didn't know there was another version of this.
There's 2 different versions, because I remember there was different cartridge labels as well, of course. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, my all-time favourite Mario game, one of my all-time favourite platformers, Super Mario 3, guys, which is why I picked it in the All-Stars collection here.
Yeah, Super Mario 3, I would agree with you, is my favourite title. I think a lot of people think classes as the best Mario, don't they?
I would say they are, because of the variety of enemies, the variety of power-ups, the worlds, there's 8 worlds, they're all interesting, the music's great, I just love this game, the bosses are cool as well, love it.
Should I tell you something I wish this didn't have?
What was that, mate?
The warp whistles.
Yeah, to skip ahead.
They were too tempting.
They were too tempting, they were easy to find, you know, they were written in gaming magazines, I remember, all over the shop, telling you how to get them.
Well, a really quick backstory to this game was I first saw it featured on the film Wizard with Fred Savage.
Oh, you mean the NES version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before this was out in Britain.
Wow, so you must have been...
So we knew
Yeah.
about the warp whistle, me and my brother did, before even playing this.
Yeah. It must have blown your mind watching a film that had that game in it before.
It did.
Yeah.
'Cause it also had the power glove in that film, and we're going off subject a little bit, with the dodgy power glove. But yeah, Mario 3.
So what I
Just-
like about this, so I've played a bit of Mario 3, I've saved it and quit, so it's going to save my progress in Mario 3. I can now jump into one of the other Mario games as quickly and as easily as that. So Mike, Lost Levels,
Yeah.
with the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 cover. That's something we're going to have to talk about sometime, you know, the Mario 2 situation
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
the games were different. This game, or this particular one, is hard as nails.
Yeah. Now, I played a little bit of this. I never owned All Stars, brought it off a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your spawn is very difficult.
Poison mushroom, which a lot of people wouldn't have known about, and
No.
you'd have been shrunk straight away. And the level design and layouts are just brutally hard.
They are, I mean, it's the sort of thing that people are making on Mario Maker now.
And Mario Maker is fantastic, but that's again for another discussion. But yeah, you're spot on. This actually came about initially by the creators of Super Mario Brothers. Thought it'd be a good idea to create more challenging levels because they were hearing people were finishing the first game really easily.
Yeah,
that's how this came about as being the second Mario game.
Yeah,
they created some harder levels.
That's right.
Yeah.
Being honest, I found it a bit frustrating.
Being honest, I'm glad we didn't get this as Super Mario Brothers 2.
I love the Super Mario Brothers 2 that we got.
Yeah.
But yeah. Can you actually go backwards in this, or does it cut the level out?
It locks the screen, so you can't go backwards like the original Super Mario Brothers does.
That annoyed the hell out of me.
And me, because you'd have missed coins, wouldn't you, or power ups, and
it just made the game feel claustrophobic.
It did, yeah, rather than being nice and open. So we're going to go down the pipe in this one, and then I'm going to choose another game from this selection, Mike. I just love that they included this in one of the main SNES packages.
I hope it's going to be what I think it is.
And do you think it's going to be Super Mario Brothers 2, the version that we got? Yeah? Oh, it is. Oh, yes, it is. So here is Mario 2.
This is Marmite, isn't it, amongst the community?
It is. I mean, I'm going to be honest, back in the day, I'd already played Super Mario Bros. 3, and the first one I kind of played them out of order because it was around a cousin's house. I didn't like this when I played this initially.
I adored this. This was the first Mario game I played.
So you actually played this before the other two?
I played it before the original and before 3.
Oh, yeah.
It's vastly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way you play it. I mean, enemies don't die if you hop on their heads, but the levels are so interested in this.
They are, completely agree. When I got older, I actually completed Super Mario Bros. 2, mate, and I absolutely loved it from that point onwards, and I actually thought, right, this is awesome, I can see why they did this, and why they gave this to us.
King Wart was the last boss.
That's it, he was the last boss, and he had me tearing my hair out because I couldn't initially figure out what the hell to do. Because you're excited, you got there, the music's dramatic, and you have to dodge his spit, don't you?
You do, yeah. I mean, I was the same. They're the purple shy guys, aren't they? They stick to the...
Yeah, they don't walk off the edge like lemmings.
Yeah. And the red ones will just fall off. I mean, it's just so cool. It still looks awesome, this game does.
It does, and I've just got to say, back in the day, kudos to Nintendo, they knew what they were doing. This is a really, really good remaster of Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3 and the first one and Lost Levels. And I still love firing this up today on my Super Nintendo. I just absolutely adore it.
Now, what was the other name of this game with different characters?
That was called Doki Doki Panic on the Famicom Disk System, which of course we never got a disk system.
That's it.
Yeah. I've actually got that, Mike, on a Famicom disc upstairs.
We'll have to look at that one day.
We will, because I'll get a disk system and we'll play it.
So it's identical, yeah, but it's just
very similar. But you can't sprint, you can't run faster. They run at the same speed, or they sort of walk at the same speed. Yeah. So yeah, getting towards the end of the level.
So yeah, touching on the characters in this, that's an awesome thing that they've all got their different abilities. Mario's sort of all-rounder.
Yeah, the 4 characters.
Hover.
Yeah.
Luigi's a bit clumsy, but he jumps the highest, doesn't he?
He does. One of them's stronger, so they can pull the vegetables out of the ground quicker and pick up the enemies a bit quicker as well.
Yeah.
And as you say, Toad's the fastest. Luigi jumps the highest. Mario's an all-rounder. And Princess Peach was good, or Princess Toadstool was good for hovering over long jumps, etc. She was really good. Here's the first Birdo. What I like about these, people will moan if they see this. Oh, it's always a Birdo, but they get different and they get harder progressively.
They do, yeah. They mix it up with it's a cool little enemy at the end, to be honest. And I like the way you've got to sort of work out how to beat it by jumping on the eggs, catching it.
Yeah, and then by picking up that crystal and then going through the mouth there.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good game.
Gambling, guys. Don't do it.
Don't gamble. It's bad.
So I miss out on the opportunity to gain some extra lives. Game number 2. Well, you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Now I've picked the Turbo version purely because it's got all the other characters that the first Street Fighter 2 didn't have, like the Vegas, Saggats, and Bison.
Playable characters.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. So I always use Ryu or Ryu, however you say his name. He was my favourite character. What was yours?
Ken.
You were Ken, so basically the same character with different
I mean, they were both in Street Fighter 1, weren't they?
The very first one, yeah. In fact, they were the main characters, weren't they? Both of them.
They were protagonists
for the first game. So Turbo, I loved it. It added to the excitement because it made it harder to pull off the special moves, and it just got you pumped up. But the music as well, I like the music.
Love the music. Love this game. Love the series. Street Fighter 2, I used to spend lots and lots of money on in the arcades and the coin ops.
Yeah.
I had Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo. I never had this version.
You have had this version?
No.
So a quick, very, very quick story for me. We had the arcade version of Street Fighter 2 in what was known as the Friday Club at the local sports centre. They had it in the cafeteria, and I sunk loads of pound coins in that. And my cousin actually turned around and said to me, I hope you're not wasting money on that. I've got Street Fighter 2 at home on the SNES. You can come around and play on it. And of course, he was right. He did have. And I did waste a lot of money.
Yeah.
I loved it, Mike.
Yeah,
You couldn't get me off it.
No, it was amazing. What I will say, though, is compared to the arcade, when you're so used to playing the arcade version, and then you play the SNES version, is the borders.
Yeah.
Remember the borders?
Yes. Across the top and the bottom of the screen. Again, that's due to PAL.
Yeah.
If you play it in North America, it's 60
That
hertz.
annoyed me, man.
Yeah, we were, unfortunately, due to the way our TV system was, we were hampered
We
with
were
PAL.
behind the times,
We
weren't
were hampered with PAL. It's not a problem nowadays because
No.
it doesn't exist anymore, really. So Dalsim, we think he was a weak character, don't we? To be honest,
I think he's fun to use when you master him because of the fire breathing and that. But
the flame and the fire.
He's
Yeah,
a bit weak. He's a bit shit.
he is. But he kicked my ass in that first fight. So yeah, Street Fighter 2. There were loads of different versions, though, Mike, of this game. So many different versions, weren't there?
For me, there were too many. They really turned it into a cash cow. They took the piss.
They did with this game. There were too many different versions.
They took the bloody piss with it. Street Fighter 2, the original, I adored. Street Fighter 2, you can change the colour of their clothes, can't you?
You can. You can select a different. Yeah, by pressing a different button on the character select screen, you can choose a different costume if you like. And there's me getting beat by Dalsim. Wow, he's made a mug of me after saying he's the weakest character. So that really takes me on to the third and final game I'm going to introduce.
Come on, Dave, what's it going to be?
We'll wait for Ryu to look a bit daft and count us out.
I think you can flip.
Oh yeah, there you go. And I put in Bab, I think, as Donkey Kong Country, Mike. That is the last game, and this game was fantastic, and it blew my mind when I first saw this.
Rare at their best.
Absolutely at their sparkling best, and this one is so close to Mario 3 as being one of the best platformers ever.
I would totally agree with that. Ahead of its time.
Graphically
visually.
stunning. You'd think it was a 32-bit game.
Just how did they do it? How did they get this looking so good? It was quite late in the Super Nintendo's life.
Yeah, I think basically the Super Nintendo was such a capable machine, and I think they got the best out of it, which is why they could make it look as good as that.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at it. It's colourful. You've got different background scrolling compared to the foreground. The music's great. The enemies are cool. The animations.
This music.
Look at the animations of the characters. They're so smooth. I love it. I just absolutely love this game. It gets brutal and a lot more difficult later on, though.
It does. I liked the sequels.
You liked number 2 and number 3?
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah, I must have. I think I played the second one, but I can't recall playing the third one. And again, I think the third one might be quite rare, actually, on the Super NES. It's quite a hard one to get.
Really?
Yeah, I think that one's collectible and quite expensive.
Oh, we got the rhinoceros.
Yeah, here we go. I don't know his name. What's his name?
Alright,
No. Oh, that's a glitch.
Oh, the secret rooms, man.
I love these.
I actually probably would enjoy playing this today much more than Mario 3.
Would you?
Probably.
Would you find this less frustrating than Super Mario Brothers 3? Is that what it is, or just the variety in this game?
I just think it's just the chunky sprites, the better visuals, and it's just an awesome game.
But it shows you, doesn't it? Early in the Super NES's life, that was the ports of all the Mario
Yeah.
games. Right at the end of the SNES's life, you get some of that kind of quality.
Yeah,
Just goes to show.
It's like most consoles, isn't it? Late in their lives, you get stuff like the PS3 Last of Us.
Yeah.
At the end of it, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at the weather effects.
Love that as well. Absolutely love that. So yeah, I remember also, Mike, just touching on Donkey Kong Country a bit more, there was Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy, and it was fantastic. They did a cracking job of bringing...
I remember that.
Of bringing basically what was essentially like this to the Game Boy. It was brilliant. I loved it.
I never played it.
I
remember seeing screenshots of it in the magazines.
Yeah, I remember getting it for as a birthday present for the Game Boy when I was a kid.
Really?
I adored
Was it good?
It was a
Yeah.
good game. I got quite far into
That's
it.
interesting. I've never met anyone who's played that. Yeah.
And of course on the Wii there was a Donkey Kong Country. It was like a remastered HD version,
Right.
Sort of upscale version.
Yeah.
Again, really good and well received.
Right. Okay. Did you finish this version?
Never. I've got quite far into it. Never
Neither
finished
did
it.
I didn't either.
Because it gets really tough later on.
It gets ridiculous later on. This is harder than Mario 3. If we're going to compare,
Yeah,
this
I
is
would
more
say it's
difficult.
harder.
Mario 3 would be more frustrating, but this as a game, as a as a long haul, it's more difficult.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that as well, because with Mario 3, for the most part, yeah, there are some frustrating bits, but you could get through the levels with a little bit of thought. This can get really seriously frustrating because you might miss a trick and just fall straight down a hole, essentially.
Does that make this game worse or better, though? I mean, to some people, they're saying...
More strategy involved, maybe? More thought going into it?
Some people would argue that Mario 3 is... Oh, I don't know, okay, this is appreciated both.
Yeah.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to like both.
Of course you are. Both terrific games. This one, for me, it just shows the Super Nintendo strength as being such a great machine.
The music, man.
The music is phenomenal.
It's just so cool.
And graphically, as you were saying, even to this day, it still looks great. It still looks really good.
In the sequels, wasn't Diddy Kong the main character, or wasn't it Diddy and...
Didn't they have someone called Trixie Kong that was a female?
That's
they did, didn't they? Right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this top 3 from myself and Mike. Catch you again soon.
Thanks for joining us, guys.